I love bike tech. Always have, always will. Now, that doesn't mean that I love all new bike tech. I mean, frankly, 34cm wide bars and $400 aero socks can get in the sea as far as I'm concerned. But I'm a firm believer that the bikes of today are better than they were just a decade ago. However, I know that some of you lot don't agree. We read it in the comment section all the time. Aero doesn't make a difference. Wide tyres at low pressures are just slow. Tubeless tyres suck. Hookless rims suck. Rim brakes for the win! Now, I would like to go for a bike ride and have a chat with all of you, but I can't. However, I can go for a bike ride and have a chat with one person and lend them the most tech-laden futuristic bike that we have at our disposal to see whether or not we can change their mind about whether modern tech, modern innovation and modern bikes in general just sucks. This is our retro grouch, Simon Warren, the author of the famous 100 Climbs series of books, which started guiding riders here in the UK to the best road climbs and now include Belgium, Italy, France and Spain as well. As you might imagine, the man loves climbing, lightweight bikes and, judging from his Twitter feed, not new tech. Simon, thank you so much for joining us. And what an amazing day for it as well.
Spring in the Peak District.
There you go. Right, now, I love bike tech, right? I think you love bike tech too. Where we differ is on our opinions about modern bike tech, the latest tech, right?
Yeah.
Okay, now, let's go for a ride. I'm really interested to hear your perspective, and also maybe as to whether or not I can slightly change your mind, or perhaps you can slightly change my mind.
Yeah, I'm quite excited to see what's under there.
Okay, right, well, let's do the big reveal then. Ta-da!
Right. Jesus.
So
bonkers.
I think this bike is an absolute weapon. I suspect it's not far off your worst nightmare.
There's a few things that made my stomach churn a little when I first saw it.
Okay.
Is this a lunchbox or a water bottle?
That's one of your water bottles,
Okay,
right?
that's one of the water bottles.
So it's super fast, Orbea Orca Aero, okay? They've prioritised aerodynamics over lightweight.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that? Light versus aero?
That's completely the wrong way. I mean, I'm all about going up hills.
Okay, we've also got 12-speed Shimano Dura-Ace, okay, GI2.
They're the people that make the fishing gear, aren't they?
That's
Shimano?
right,
yeah.
With hydraulic disc brakes, which I guess you love?
No.
Have you ever used hydraulic disc brakes?
I've never used hydraulic disc brakes, no. They're ugly.
So anyway, we'll see. And then the wheels, okay, you're going to love those, right?
They're a boss, yeah, I mean...
They are far deeper than I would ever ride on a normal day.
On a windy day in the Peak District, yeah.
But, okay, the reason I'm running them is because, firstly, they look amazing.
Yeah.
They are 85mm deep, zip 858 NSWs.
Yes.
Okay, and they're also, because they're hookless, right?
Yeah.
They only weigh 1,500 grams, which is pretty good even by climbing standards, right? That's a light wheel.
The hookless is one thing, that's really new, isn't it? I mean, I know tubeless and stuff. The hookless, that just seems to me that it's like the tyre's just floating on the rim there. It's not actually hooked onto it, which doesn't sound safe.
So it relies on tubeless tyres, right? So you've got those set up tubeless, so you can run the lightest and fastest, should I say, setup.
Yeah.
They're also 28s, so they're nice and wide.
Yeah.
Aerodynamically, that works with this rim width.
Yeah.
And it also means then you can run lower pressures, right? So I'm going to put about 65, 68 PSI in there, which I suspect is about half the pressure that you normally run.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
I have a feeling, right, this bike is going to challenge you.
Yeah. I mean, I'm really excited. Those wheels really, I can't wait to see what they feel like.
Cool. All right, well, let's stick your pedals on it then.
Yeah.
And then, unfortunately, what I don't have is any tech to keep us warm or dry.
But pedaling will do that.
Exactly. Yeah, all right, let's do it.
And I get to keep the bike if I like it?
Yeah, Alex Payne won't mind.
All right.
We're in the Peak District in central England. It's a national park and an absolute paradise for cycling. Simon's route takes us up the Hope Valley, into Edale, over a classic climb and then back. I won't have long to change his mind. It's just 30 kilometres and it's also not the ideal terrain for my showstopper of a bike.
If I'm honest, I'm a little bit nervous, okay? Firstly, I feel a great weight of responsibility as the guy lending him a bike that it's going to be okay. I mean, if there's some kind of unfortunate mechanical, one of my bits of modern tech fails, there's going to be no winning him over. I'm also slightly worried that if he does get a puncture, I haven't got an inner tube with a valve long enough because those rims are so bonkers. But I'm looking forward to it. I just really want to have like a genuine conversation, so it's going to be good. Right, I think the rain's easing off. Let's do it. Okay, Simon, before I get your impressions on the bike, right, let's go back a step or two. What is your idea of a dream bike?
Something around about, 6 kilos. Something tiny, lightweight, nimble. It looks like it'll just dance away up a climb on its own without me, having to pedal it. Something with, a tiny profile. Ever since I was a kid, I think I was intoxicated by pictures of skinny bikes when I was a kid, and that's hardwired into my brain. A bike should have skinny tubes. It should have 19mm tyres. It should be, this tiny little thing. And every year, everything just seems to be getting fatter now.
Yeah, well, it certainly is, okay. And because your bike is a thing of beauty, you're on a time, yeah?
Yeah.
With Campagnolo's record.
Yes. 11 speed, old school 11 speed.
Yeah.
Everything works. Rim brakes, cables. It's easy to maintain. It just works, and it looks pretty. It looks like a bike. I feel slightly aggrieved that it's becoming obsolete.
That brings us on then to these modern innovations, okay? So let me get your thoughts on a few key tech leaps, I guess, over the last decade or so. So hydraulic disc brakes. What is it about discs that you don't like? But so you're underwhelmed by the performance.
Yes, okay, performance is here or there. They're ugly. The wheel is such a perfectly beautiful thing.
Yeah.
And then you strap that massive bit of metal to it and it ruins it. The first time I saw a lightweight wheel at some bike show with a disc on, it's like heresy. It's like, you can't do that.
Aesthetics is a big part of your dislike of disc brakes then?
Yes, but more than that, it seems that the bike's been reinvented. They didn't ask us for our opinion, they just did it. So, in the past, if I wanted to put STI levers on a long time ago, you could just put them on your bike.
Yeah.
If I wanted to put some deep sectional rims on, I could put them on my bike. If I wanted electric gears, I could put them on my bike. If I want discs, I have to buy a new bike, new group set, new wheels.
Yeah. Now, I see that. Do you think, though, that the fact that bike companies are still making disc brake bikes is because more people want them than don't?
People do as they're told, they're sheep. And they stop making nice stuff for rim brakes, bikes.
You could argue, I guess, that you can still buy rim brake stuff, and now it's just less expensive. Yeah.
It's less expensive. Also, the top end stuff has gone, so I can't replace my zip wheels anymore with a like-to-like version.
Yeah.
I think Envy stopped making their top end rim brake wheels. They seem to be forgotten. It's like you change or you stay where you are. Your cables inside everywhere, and all these people swearing. And it's hard enough to set cables up as it is, but all this inside business. I mean, I'd literally just smash the workshop up and go home.
But we were talking about aesthetics earlier.
Yeah.
Surely getting rid of cables makes a bike look aesthetically.
Yeah, you can't say that isn't neat and tidy, is it?
Yeah. What about the tyres and the wheels? Okay, so you're running a tyre pressure today about not far off half, I think, what you'd normally run.
These don't feel spongy,
no,
but they don't feel They look so zippy.
No.
And
I think part of that is because that feeling of zip is actually kind of what was slowing us down. Feeling all those vibrations and that kind of zing, you know, it made the bike feel alive, but actually all those vibrations that made you feel good.
I mean, if you're on a rough bit of road, when we get to Mam Nick, it's horrible. They chip and sealed it a few years ago.
Okay.
Every time you hit a bump, slows you down.
Yeah.
So I guess the lower pressure will accommodate for all the bumps, but like a lot of things in cycling, tradition weighs very heavy.
Yeah.
If as a kid I was told to pump it up until my arms hurt, that's what I'm going to do forever.
We just paused at the bottom of what's quite a famous climb in these parts, isn't it? Mam Nick.
Yeah.
What does that get in 100 climbs? What rating?
I put it in my second book, and I gave it a 6 out of 10. I'm going to regret that today, I think. But you do often have a nice tailwind. It's not super steep, but there are steep patches.
Yeah.
It's long, but overall, it's a really beautiful road.
Yeah, okay. Now, obviously, this is your preferred terrain, right?
Yeah.
Going uphill, where lightweight is preferable.
Yeah.
I've put you on an aero bike specifically to challenge you, but you have got a bit of a weight penalty. So I think that one is about 1,100 grams for the frame, which compares to about 750-ish for their other road frame or Bayer. So how do you think that's going to feel? How many deep wheels on there?
Yeah, I mean, the initial impression, I'm expecting it to be a little sluggish. See the wheels, maybe. Really, I really don't know. I'm quite excited. Well, excited. Interested to see how it feels.
Yeah, all right. Well, let's turn a pedal in anger, shall we?
Yes, right.
We've got to do it properly.
We'll try, yeah. I'm above my racing weight at the moment, but I'll give it my best shot.
You'll get the KOM on that, Simon.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. No.
Go on then, Simon. First impressions going uphill on an aero weapon.
It was a little sluggish.
Was it?
I've got to say, it's firm, it's rigid, it's responsive. I felt solid going up there. We had a nice bit of tailwind. You're pushing me. It didn't excite.
Now, at this point, I'm going to have to interject. After the ride, Simon let slip that he'd just gone a minute faster than he'd ever gone before up this climb. 10% quicker. So very interesting to see the discrepancy between feeling and reality.
I've probably challenged you a little bit too far with a full-blown aero sled, but it's downhill all the way to the calf now, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I reckon we do the pressing on. The one thing I'm slightly nervous about now is that you want to go down Winnett's Pass, which is infamous as being very steep, very straight, very
the speed
fast.
Runs away from you very quickly.
There's a cattle grid at the bottom, and you've just got some new disc brakes that you want to try out.
Exactly. This is like having a parachute, like the space shuttle when it comes into land.
Basically, they give you carte blanche to do whatever you want on a descent.
Yeah.
So don't you worry.
Exactly.
Okay, let's do it. Well, that was definitely a ride that I was quite glad to get back from.
Yeah.
Fun though it was. Give me your impressions, Simon. Go on.
First off, I was really excited to get on it. And
yeah.
It's a strong bike. It's solid. It's got some zip to it. It did feel really good on the flat. That's where its home is. I thought it was dragging a bit on the climb. Probably could have put a bit of extra pressure in the tyres. And that front wheel, I've never ridden a front wheel as deep as that. I was fighting it at times just to keep it in a straight line. But then it is a horribly rainy, windy day.
Yeah, I stitched you up when it came to wheel choice today. I'm not going to lie. And I regret that slightly, maybe. I think in wanting to challenge you, I think maybe I've gone a little bit of a step too far. But no, that was cool. And we were tanking it back into
that was good. I mean, a bike like that has to be ridden fast. You can get tucked in. You know what's underneath you. You just got to give it all.
Yeah. Has it made you reconsider at all any of your kind of your not prejudices, maybe that is the right word, about the tech that you hadn't tried before, like the discs, like the tubeless?
Tubeless, how do I know any difference? I really couldn't feel any different there.
No.
The disc brakes, they stopped all right. There's a little less lag, you know, when you're gripping carbon rims in the wet with the rim brakes. Sometimes you have to just brush the water off. Those, there's a little less, but did this stop me any dramatically different? No. Do I spend the cost of a really nice family car on what advantage? What percentage, what minuscule percentage of advantage that aero tubes, new wheels, disc brakes are going to give me? It simply doesn't make financial sense. If you were starting from scratch, maybe. But still, my bike, it was $5,000. To replace that with modern tech, to get the weight down the same as it is, you're looking at over $10,000 now. Things have changed. And without sounding like Scrooge, I've got to keep mine going.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's one of the things there now where just because the new tech exists, it doesn't make the old tech obsolete. Like, if you love your bike, there's no reason to swap it out, right?
It doesn't make the old tech obsolete, but the companies, that sound like a conspiracy theorist, they're making the old tech obsolete. The big players in the game, they're not making their top high-end bike wheels and frame sets for people with rim brakes anymore.
Well, so that's where I think you and I disagree, because I don't think there is a conspiracy. It's simply a case of they can make the products, but people won't buy them. And so there's no reason for a company to invest time and effort and money into rim brake wheels if no one's buying them. Because then you're like, well...
People aren't being sold them. They're only being sold disc brake bikes.
Well, I mean, maybe
because
that's a chicken and the egg
that's
situation.
In the advertising, that's what the pros are being told to ride. It's, you need to support both formats, because there's a lot of people out there with lots of really nice bikes who, want a new pair of wheels, want a new pair of this, but they have to switch systems.
You can still buy rim brake wheels.
Yeah. Lower down the leg, lower down the spectrum. I guess it's progress, but I think up until the disc brake revolution, progress has always been, you could always just add it onto your bike. Now you need a complete new system.
But we should also stress as well that it's not all modern tech that you hate.
Oh,
Some
God,
gets
no.
your blessing, doesn't it?
Oh, yes.
So head units.
I couldn't live without that.
That's your Wahoo.
Yeah.
On there. Strava.
Yep. The first thing I look to every morning.
Yeah. Zwift.
Zwift, loved Zwift. And to be honest, when Zwift came out, I'm not going on that. A computer game for bikes. And I was offered a chance to ride up outdo Zwift. Within an hour, I was sold.
And power meters is another one, right?
Yes, power meters, yeah. And I do like a little bit of science. And again, it gives you more targets to aim for, a little bit more, tracking your decline as you're getting older, but monitoring it.
Yeah.
All these things are good.
Yeah. So what I find interesting is that it's so individualised, isn't it, about what tech is right for someone and what isn't for another. Because there are a lot of people out there that are still not fans of indoor training.
Yeah.
There are a lot of people out there that don't like Strava, or they don't like this or that. And so I do feel like whether rim brakes work for one person and not for another, it's a really personal thing.
Yeah.
And do you know what I've taken from today more than anything is the fact that we disagree on a lot of these things, but you're actually talking to you face to face and having a laugh about it makes you realise that these are trivial differences,
exactly.
right? And when you see something written in black and white on social media in a YouTube comments, it's easy to feel inflamed, isn't it? And whereas actually when you meet someone face to face, all of those things just disappear.
And it's part of the game, isn't it?
Yeah.
I say, I've set my stall out on social media. I mean, it's just for a laugh. It gets some people angry and it gets other people clapping, and you pick a side and go to battle, but it's just for fun.
Yeah. So maybe that's the point then at which we wrap things up. So which side are you on? Are you an adopter and a lover of modern bike tech and the innovations that come with it? Or are you slightly more reserved, perhaps, about some of the recent developments?
Because we think it's a conspiracy. So, yeah. Up the rim brake mafia.
There you go. Brilliant. Get involved in the comments section down below, and I'll be very, very interested to read that one. I'm sure you will as well.
Exactly.
Yeah, you know what YouTube
thank
is,
you
right?
Yes, yes. Yeah, I think my daughter uses it. And thanks very much for the experience.
Cool. Well, yeah,
of riding a modern bike.
It's been an absolutely brilliant riding with you.
Yeah,
and it's been a lot of fun. So thank you very much, despite the weather as well. Right, please give this video a big thumbs up if you've enjoyed it. We'll see you next time.